Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today I am back with another video and we're going to be doing a really long set of coffin nails. So before we started the set, I did a soak off, which is why her nails look like that. But of course, now we're just pushing back the cuticles to expose the new growth and also help with reducing lifting. After that, we're going to go in with the 180 sanding band and we're going to be filing the nail to remove the shine. So remember, you want to make sure that you remove the shine all around the nail, starting from the right side, go all the way around the cuticle area. And then I'm also using the same 180 sanding band to just trim down the natural nail. So you will see me just following the free edge. And that's just going to save us a little bit of time. So instead of going in and clipping the nails or filing them down with an actual hand file, we can just do this at the same time when we're removing the shine. But remember, again, you go from the right side over to the left side, just going back and forth, and then also just remove the shine from the rest of the nail. And then after this, we're going to go in and just apply the nail tips. Now for my nail tips, I'm actually going to be using the McCart Coffin nails, and those are the same ones that I use for the press-on nails. And then I've used these before on myself, so instead of applying them as press-on nails, we apply them as tips, and it gives you a nice length and as well as a nice how was I gonna say it? A nice length and a nice shape. So it saves you a lot of time as well. The reason why I decided to use these this time is because my other ones, she always get them really long and she wanted them clear, and my clear ones that I have that are longer, they're very flimsy, so they're really hard to shape really nicely. And I remember that I had these and they worked good for me when I used them, so that's why I decided to use these. But again, we're just on the last finger when we're removing the shine, and then after this we're going to go ahead and apply the nail tips. But the same thing applies for this. When we're applying these nail tips, is you want to make sure the nail tip fits from sidewall to sidewall. As you can see, I'm checking, and if they do, just apply the glue right on the tip and apply it on the nail. Hold it down for a few seconds and you're good to go. So again, or actually no, these are not, I'm sorry, these are not the McCart nail tips. These are the stiletto nail tips that I used on myself when I did the Halloween nails. I don't know what I was thinking, but yeah, so these are a lot thicker than my other ones, which are my other clear ones, which is why I use them. But since we're gonna do coffin, we're just gonna be cutting down the tip to remove that point. But again, making sure that we fit the nail tip from sidewall to sidewall to make sure that it's not too big or too small. If it's too big, go up a number. If it's too small, go up a number. And then if it's big, just follow it down on the sides to make it fit perfectly. And for my glue, I am using the KDS glue. We're going to go ahead and finish applying the nail tips, and then we'll move on to the next step. Alrighty, so now we're just going to go in and trim down the nail tips. So again, she wants them coffin. So once we cut them, they're already going to be like that coffin shape. But of course, we're going to go in and perfect the shape. So again, just going in with a tip cutter. And then of course, if your client wants to keep them this long and this shape, then you would just go in and just perfect the shape a little bit. But now I'm just going in and measuring the nail tips against each other to make sure that they're all the correct size. And after this, we're going to go in with a 100 nail file to shape up the nails. Alrighty, so again, we're going to go in with a 100 nail file, and we're not going to have to do that much filing because we already have a nice coffin shape, but we just want to go in there and perfect the shape. So we're filing the sides and the free edge at a 90-degree angle, holding our file super straight against their side of their nail, which is their nail groove, and just filing towards the tip to make sure that we get that perfect coffin shape. And then of course also making sure that we blend the nail tip right in the middle. That way, once we apply the acrylic, the nail looks very natural. So after we finish reshaping the nails, we dust the nails off, and then I'm applying the Young Nail Protein Bond. This is the only thing that I use as a primer. I don't use a nail dehydrator or anything, but if you want to use one, you absolutely can, because I know it depends, you know what brand you're using and all that stuff, but this is all I use and I don't have problems with lifting. But anyways, now for our acrylic, I'm going to be using the clear Glam and Glitz acrylic. I'm also going to be using the number 1 AB acrylic glitter by Nail Supply Glamour. The little pots of glitter, those are actually from my website, which is now down for restocking, and thank you so much to everyone who placed an order. But anyways, we're gonna go ahead and start off with the nails that are gonna be all clear. So as you can see, I applied the first bead right in the middle where the natural nail and the tip meets. We gently pat it down and then brushing it down towards the tip, making sure that we brush very gently whenever we're brushing the acrylic down towards the tip because we don't want to just brush the product off the nail. We want to make sure that we smooth it out really good. And then we apply the third bead closer to the bottom, just because these nails are a lot longer. You know, you're gonna have to apply a little bit more acrylic to make sure that you have a nice thickness and that the nails are not going to bend or break, because you know, a lot of the time people, I feel like they make them super thin and they're gonna be very easy to break. So now we apply the bead closer to the cuticle area. Same thing, patting it down, brushing it down towards the tip, and make sure that when you're applying the acrylic, you're steady looking at the nail from the side to make sure that you have a nice thickness and a nice apex, because again, since they are longer, they're more prone to break. So make sure that you have a nice thickness and, most importantly, a nice apex. And then just flat nails overall are not cute at all. I know everyone has their own preference, but the correct way to do it is to have a good apex. Alrighty, and same thing for the thumb. So I went ahead and slowed it down. I thought the first nail was slowed down, but it wasn't. So same thing, we place our bead right in the middle where the natural nail and the tip meet, and look at how like gentle I am when I'm patting the acrylic. If I feel like if you pat too hard, it's like you're making the acrylic dry a lot faster. So if you're having problems with your acrylic being like very stiff to the point where you can't smooth it out, then most likely you're not using enough liquid, or you're just not using the correct liquid to powder ratio, or you're brushing down like super hard. So as you can see, I placed the first one, pat it down gently, brushed it down. I'm applying a second bead closer to the tip. Same thing, we gently pat it down and then brushing it down towards the tip. But again, it's very important that you are very careful when you're brushing it down towards the tip, because you don't want to brush all of the acrylic off, because then you're gonna have to apply more. But after this, we're gonna go ahead and go in with the third bead. And remember that when you're working, you want to make sure that you're paying attention to, you know, the thickness, to really just the nail in general, to make sure that it's smooth. So you have to look at it from the side a lot. So anytime you see me turning the nail a little bit to the side, that's me checking. So as you can see, I'm going in and applying another bead at the tip, because again, if you feel like the tip is too thin still, then just go in and add more. So don't just think that, you know, oh, you know, this is a 4-bar method, so I can only apply 4 beads. Like, that's absolutely not true. Just go in, and but the way to determine, you know, where to add more product is by just looking at the nail. So that's why I always say that it's very important to look at the nail from different angles. But now we're applying another bead closer to the cuticle area. As you can see, I apply it as close as I can to the cuticle area, but not on the actual cuticle, because then we could get lifting. So I applied it down, pat it down, and then brushing it down towards the tip to make sure that we blend it in. And then, as always, I forgot to mention, but as always, I'm using a number 10 oval brush by Alpha Brush, and unfortunately they no longer have a promo code. I know I get that asked a lot. They no longer have a promo code, but I do have a link, so I'll be sure to leave that down below. Alrighty, and then after I finished applying that bead around the cuticle area, I noticed that it was still a dip like right in the middle. So I just went in and applied another bead right in the middle. Same thing, patting it down and then gently brushing it down towards the tip. So remember, it's okay if you need to go back and add more acrylic, but don't just add just to add. Just make sure that you're looking to see where you need to add more product and then add it. So it's really important, just because you don't want to, again, just be adding just to add, and then you're going to make the nail super thick, and then you're going to have a lot of filing to do. That's why I say that you have to work smarter and not harder. And then after this, we're going to go ahead and do again all of the nails that are going to be completely clear, and then we're going to start adding the glitters. The reason why I did it this way is just because you guys know that the glitters get really messy, and I didn't want to get any of those glitters on the clear nails, because then it's hard to get out. But as you can see, I applied another bead right in the middle as well. And again, it's really important that you have a nice apex when you're doing long nails, because they could break very easily. Because if you don't have that stress area, that's where the nail gets its strength from. So if you hit the nail on something and it doesn't have a nice apex, then it's gonna break off very, very easily. So that's why you see me go in and just apply more acrylic where it's needed. But we're gonna go ahead and do the same thing on this other hand. Of course, we're gonna be switching up the fingers, but it's basically the same process. But again, I try to do the 4-ball method, which is the one right in the middle. Next one, right below that one. The third one closer to the cuticle area, and the fourth one closer to the to build your apex, sorry. But if you need to add more acrylic, that is completely fine. So don't try to be like, oh well, you know, she added a 5th bead and a 6th bead, so let me add that too. Like, no, you don't have to do that. That's only if you need it. Alrighty, so now we're gonna go in and we're gonna be using some angel foil, and I cut it like into a little triangle, and we're gonna be applying that on the tip of this index finger. So first I'm doing a small bead of acrylic over the nail, and this is just so that the angel foil will stick to the nail. So as you can see, I placed the angel foil on the tip, and I'm gonna go ahead and trim it. That way it's the same size as the nail. I don't want it hanging off the nail. And then we're gonna go ahead and apply more acrylic, and we're also going to be applying the glitter around the triangle, so like all over the nail except for on the little triangle. And make sure that you encapsulate anything that you're using, whether it's angel foil, glitter. You have to make sure that you encapsulate it. Since I didn't want the glitter to get on the actual triangle, that's why I went ahead and encapsulated that first. But now I'm going in with the Nail Supply Glamour AB acrylic glitter in the #1, and again we're going to be applying that all around except for in the little triangle, so just around the triangle. And then after this, we're going to go in and just encapsulate all of this with the Glam and Glitz clear acrylic, which honestly I've been loving. I've been using on all of the sets that I've been doing lately because it just goes on so good, and I just again absolutely love it. So I'll be sure to leave the link down below to it, as well as a promo code, which is Get Nailed tan. But again, I'm just doing the acrylic, and then I'm the glitter, and then I went ahead and encapsulated it. Make sure that when you're encapsulating as well, you want to make sure that you have a nice apex and a nice thickness all around. And then now for the ring finger, we're going to go ahead and do a layer of the clear acrylic. And then for this one, we're just going to be doing a glitter all around. And this is the AB acrylic glitter in the number 6, also by Nail Supply Glamour. And y'all, that whole collection of glitters is so beautiful. Like, you literally can put it with any color and they just look so freaking good. And then like this one, it's a different little shapes than the one that we used on the index finger. So they're all really different. The colors are different as well. And I just love them. So you always see me using them here and there. But once we get a good coverage of the glitter, that's when we go ahead and do the clear over it to encapsulate it. The reason why you have to do the clear acrylic over the glitter and also below, so I'll start with below. So the reason why we have to apply it underneath the glitter is just because next time whenever she comes in and if she wants to get that glitter removed, then of course I'll just go in and, you know, file all of the glitter off. And then we'll still have that clear underneath. That way, you know, we don't have to do a whole new set. And then the reason why we have to do the clear glitter over the glitter, the clear acrylic over the glitter, is just because once we come back in to file, we don't want to file the glitter off. So that kind of just protects the glitter from being filed off. But anyways, now we're going to go ahead and move on to the pinky. So we're just applying the clear acrylic underneath. And then for this one, we're going to be applying what are these, like some polka dots, and these are like silver holographic, and we're just applying this on the entire nail. And then after this, we're going to go ahead and encapsulate this one as well. And then after that, we're going to go ahead and do basically the same thing on the other hand, but again, we just switched a few fingers around. Alrighty, so we're going to do the same thing on the other hand. Again, we're just switching up a few fingers. So for this thumb, we're going to do the holographic sequence. So same thing, we're doing the thin layer of acrylic underneath before we apply the sequence. After that, I just got a small bead of acrylic, dipped it into the glitter, and then applied on the nail. We're going to go ahead and fill this entire nail up with the holographic sequence, and then after that, we're going to just encapsulate that with the clear acrylic. Alrighty, so for the middle finger, we're going to do same thing, just the bead of clear. And then for this one, we're going to do the AB glitter acrylic and then number 6. And then for the pinky, we're going to do the triangle at the tip with the angel foil and then the glitter at the back. And then, of course, encapsulating both of them. And then we can move on to the next step. Alrighty, so now we're gonna go ahead and reshape the nails. So same thing, we're using a 100 nail file, and we're gonna do the same thing. So following the sides and the free edge at a 90-degree angle, making sure that we are going straight out from the nail groove towards the nail tip to make sure that it's super straight. And then whenever I file the free edge, I make sure that I'm holding my file at a vertical angle, and also making sure that I'm holding their nail. That way, you know, I get like that super straight shape especially when I'm filing the free edge. And make sure that you're paying attention to what you're doing when you're shaping the nails, just because I feel like your shape will literally make or break your sets. So you want to make sure that you get a very nice shape. So after we do this, we're going to go ahead and do the same thing on the other hand, and then we're going to go in and file the nails with a fine drill bit. Alrighty, so now we're just going to go in with a fine drill bit, and I'm using my Melody Susie Scarlet Nail Drill, and to file around the cuticle area, I use it at 10,000 RPMs, and the drill bit is by Pana from Amazon, so I'll be sure to leave both of those links down below. But as always, I always start on the right side of the nail, going around to the left side, just going back and forth until I'm able to see where the cuticle is, where the natural nail is, and where the acrylic is, and then also making sure that we file the rest of the nail to make sure that it's all nice and smooth. But remember, you want to focus around that cuticle area first. And just as a little reminder that, you know, this is going to take some practice. This is not something that you're just going to be able to do on your first time and, you know, get it right. I mean, if you are, you know, lucky you, but even for me, you know, it took me a while to finally be able to seal the acrylic around the cuticle area to prevent lifting. It's going to be probably one of the hardest things and the most frustrating things as well, because again, if you don't do this correctly, you will get lifting. But again, it just comes with practice, and you know, after a while of just doing it and seeing what you're doing wrong, you'll be able to get it down, you know, soon after that. But again, we start on the left side, going all the way around to the left side, just going back and forth and filing the rest of the nail as well to make sure that it's all very nice and smooth. And as you can see, I use like my thumb to just go in and fill on the nail to make sure that it's smooth and I don't feel any bumps or anything. And we just do that on all of the nails. So nice and simple, but again, it does take a bit of practice to finally get this down. But the most important thing is, again, to follow around the cuticle area. And also that you keep your drill moving at all times, because if you don't, if you leave it in one spot for too long, it's going to cause friction and it's going to cause your client's nail to burn. So make sure that, again, that you file the nails really good, and then you keep your drill moving at all times. So now we're going to go ahead and finish off this set. We're going to continue to do this on all of the nails, and then we will be back. And also, just as a reminder that you can also do this with a regular hand file. You don't have to use a drill. So if you're not comfortable using a drill just yet, then again, you would just do this with a hand file. But it does help to do it with, you know, a drill, because it helps with speed, and it just helps you to get really close to that cuticle area as well. Alrighty, y'all, so now we're going to go in and buff the nails. So this is just going to get rid of any of the scratches left on the nail from the hand file or the e-file. So we just buff the nails really good, and also make sure that you feel on the nail with your thumb to make sure that it's smooth. If not, you just go in and buff a little bit more. Alrighty, so after we finished the buffing, we're going in and just removing the dust from the nail. So we did dust the nails off at first, but then I used an alcohol wipe to just go in and just wipe the nails off. And then after this, we're gonna go in and apply the polish and the bling. As always, for my bling, I'm gonna be using the Soleil nail adhesive, and for my polish, I honestly don't even know what color this is. It's just one that I found. I know it's by Model Ones, but I don't even know what color it is, but it's like a translucent pink. And then I'm also going to be using translucent pink by D&D. The reason why I use both of them is because one, I feel like had more of a pink pigment to it, so that's why we're gonna go in and just use both, just to get, you know, a really pinkish look. But then after this, we're gonna go ahead and cure this hand for 30 seconds, and then we're gonna do the same thing on the other hand, and you will see me come back in and use the other color on the other nail. Sorry, for the second coat. Alrighty, so we're going to go ahead and cure this hand, and then again for this hand we're going to go ahead and go in with the second coat, and we're using this translucent pink by D&D, and we're just going to do that on those 3 nails, and then we're going to cure for 30 seconds again, and same thing for the other hand. Alrighty, so now for the bling, again, I'm using the Soleil nail adhesive, and I'm going to use my wax pencil, my SS6, my SS12, as well as some bigger pieces. So as you can see, for this one, I just used the horse eye right in the middle, and then I'm going in and outlining that with like the little small SS6, and we're basically going to make like a little triangle all the way down towards the tip. And for the thumb, we're going to go in with the Jewel Hard Gel that I had on my website. And I'm just using my small brush to apply the gel. And I'm going to do, like, I had a little cube, and then I'm also going to apply a few other big pieces. And then I'm also using my SS6 and my SS12. And since we apply the hard gel, I'm applying the small pieces right over that hard gel. So it's going to work the same as, you know, if we would have applied the glue. So same thing, we're just going to go ahead and apply the bling, alternating with the bigger pieces and the smaller pieces as well. And we're just going to kind of apply it, you know, going across the nail. Alrighty, so while that hand cures, we're going to go ahead and apply more on this hand. So we're going to apply one of the rugby right in the middle, and then we're going to outline this with the, or go around it with the AB, SS6, and SS12. And then we're going to go ahead and apply more on the other nails. So really nice and simple. We don't want to apply too much bling because we don't want to take away from that glitter, but we also, you know, we love bling, so we still have to add it here and there. But again, we're using the Soleil nail adhesive, which I've been using for a little bit now, and I honestly really love it. The bling stays on really good, and it dries pretty fast. Like, sometimes my clients are amazed at how, like, say I accidentally place one on the wrong spot and I try to take it off with my nail and it just does not come off. Like, I literally have to go in there with a pair of dippers to get it off because it just will not come off. But anyways, for this other finger, we're just doing the trim around the cuticle area, and we just did a SS12 in the middle and then the SS6 around it. So this one was a lot more simple. For this one, we are going to do the bling right in the middle. So we're going to do a rumpus in the middle, and then we're going to do the SS12 and then the SS6 around it, and then going down in the middle as well. Alrighty, and for this one, we're going to do a big piece right in the middle, and then we're going to outline the cuticle area going down to the middle piece, and we're going to use the SS12 in the middle and then the SS6 all around it. Alrighty, so same thing for this one. So we're doing the water drop in the middle, and then we're going to outline the cuticle area with the SS12 and the SS6. For the thumb on this hand, we're just going to outline the cuticle area with the SS6 and SS12. So I did the SS12 right in the middle and then the SS6 around it. Alrighty, so after that, we're going to go ahead and just spray the nails with the Mia Secret Gel Resin Activator, which is going to help that glue dry a lot faster. And then I'm going in with the Nail Supply Glamour Diamond Gel, which is a gel top coat, and we're applying that on all of the nails. And then we're going to go ahead and cure this hand for 60 seconds. Alrighty, y'all, so here is the final look. As you can see, they turned out very, very pretty. The glitter just looks so good. The bling placement was so pretty, and everything just turned out so good. So as always, I hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter at GetNail32, and I will see you guys next time.